Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's class. This is day 8 of our Salesforce training, and we are going to be treating sales and marketing applications, the part 2. We've gone past getting started with Salesforce. Now we're doing administrative stuff. So things might get a little bit challenging. I want you to kind of like take a step back and always consult the trailer so you can get more information about anything I say in this training. Again, things can get a bit challenging, but just don't get overwhelmed. Try to understand the concepts and try to understand where things are. And if I say anything that you don't really understand, please take a note and do your own self-study or ask me questions after the class. So I explained this to you the last time. So this is where Salesforce wants you to learn about sales and marketing application. These are the curriculum, the expectations. However, I like to work with bullet points because it keeps me focused. And I summarized the bullet points of what we're going to learn today in different sections, okay? You will have seen that some of them are similar to what we learned yesterday, and that's because I want to go over what we learned yesterday once again so you can get better knowledge, okay? Then we go into campaign members, member status, and the likes. But let's quickly go through what we learned yesterday so we can have a very good understanding and we can move into today's class. Again, to get started with Salesforce, the first thing you need to do is you need to go to trailhead.salesforce.com and you need to sign up or register. I expect everyone in this class to know how to have an account and start accumulating points. So this is the Trailhead, and I'm going to just go into the hands-on hugs, and I'm going to launch my hands-on hug for Blackforce. So again, this is the front end, okay? So yesterday, I'm going to be flipping through my slide and the Salesforce org, so please pay attention carefully. We talk about lead processes. So what are lead processes and why are we talking about it? The sales and marketing applications in Salesforce has a bunch of objects that are interrelated. One of the objects is lead. The lead object is used to capture prospective customers. So these are customers that they are interested in your business, but they haven't purchased any item. They haven't bought anything. This is what you guys typically go through when you're enrolling into a course or a programs you find online. The first thing is they capture your details. After capturing your details, they send it to a lead object. If you're using Salesforce, this is where you should send your lead information. Okay? So now Salesforce has inbuilt processes. The inbuilt processes are just a way to kind of like make life easier for the Salesforce admin. What are the inbuilt processes? We have the lead processes, as you can see, falls under marketing. We have the sales processes, which falls under sales. Remember, we're doing sales and marketing, right? So this sales will be, we're going to be dealing with sales tomorrow when we get onto opportunities. But for leads, we have the lead processes. We have the lead processes. Can you please mute? We have the lead processes. Okay, so I was talking about processes. Processes are just ways which Salesforce makes things easier for the Salesforce admin. They are pre-configured features. Okay, so when it comes to lead processes, it's a way which you can easily streamline activities or business process that has to do with leads. Let me explain that. When you capture a lead, you would have seen some information about Blackforce on LinkedIn. You will have seen some information about Blackforce on WhatsApp. You will have seen so many information about Blackforce on random pages. And anytime we ask you, where did you get this information from? You select WhatsApp, Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, and the likes. That information you're giving us is helping us to build a better business. And based on those information, you can build what they call a lead process. So for instance, if you want to target different audience and you want to give them different information based on where they're coming from, or you want to verify a user because you don't know if this user exists or this user is a bot, you would use lead process to go through different parts. So now the lead process is just a way for you to go through different parts when you want to enter lead in the object. Okay. So for instance, you want to talk about part. This is an example of a part. This is an example of a part. We talked about part yesterday. We said if the lead is coming from the web, then we should include user verification step in our part. This is a process. The process involves verifying the user. That's why we involve user verification in our part. If it's coming from the phone, if the lead is a phone call and we enter the lead manually into the system, we don't need to verify the user because it is a phone lead. So the process you create will determine what will happen here. Okay? The process you create in the back end will now determine what options comes up in the part. As you can see, if I click on the web leads, I can see the options that comes up in the part. And if I go back and I click on phone leads, you will see that the user verified has been taken off. How do you determine this? How do you, why would you use this instead of any other pick list? According to Salesforce, the lead process is driven by the status of the lead. Okay, so if you go to your lead, you go to the details of the lead, you will see what they call status of the lead. Okay, this is what the lead process is driven by. And I can easily show you on Salesforce, so you can see the lead process on Salesforce and what Salesforce has got to talk about it. So just loading the Salesforce app, and it says from setup, select the stages best suited and save. I want to look for the field. If you read some of the comments here, you will see that they said the lead status, right? And for opportunity, they said stage. For case, they said status and other things like that. But we're going to get that tomorrow. Just focus on the lead for now. So knowing that the lead process is dependent on the lead status, that's why we only have that option here. If you go to the sales process, you will see that it's going to be on the stage. Okay. So now that we know that the lead process is going to help us determine what path this should take. Now, how do we determine the values of the paths? We use the lead status, right? How do we get there? We go to the object, we go to the lead, and we go to the fields and relationships, and we go to the status, okay? So this is the lead status, and you can add more if you want to by clicking on new, and you add more. And you can rearrange how it appears. For instance, you can rearrange this based on how you want it to be, okay? So now you've seen how this part is being made from the lead process, and you've seen the reason, the rationale behind it. Let's go back to the next one. We talk about lead assignment and auto response rules. What are lead assignments? I explained to you earlier, I explained to you yesterday that assignment rules are rules which you create to do certain things in terms of assigning a record to someone in the system. Assignment, always think about that. If I want to assign a record to a user in the system, you use assignment rules. Now, you can only have one active assignment rules in the system. By default, Salesforce provides us with standard assignment rules. However, if you do not want to use the standard assignment rules, you can, obviously, recommendation is just to delete this and insert yours. But if you want to create yours from scratch, then you can do this. Alternatively, the reason why you can actually have multiple assignment rules and deactivate everything but one is because in future, you might want to maybe load data into the system, okay? You want to load data into the system. If this assignment rule does not really, is gonna break a lot of things, or you want to do something particular because of that data you're loading into the system. Because after loading that data into the system, you don't need that assignment rules again. Then you can just create a new one and make it active. After that, you can now disable it, okay? That's the benefit of having different assignment rules, because you can easily just activate one, load your data and deactivate it, and that's it, okay? That's number one. There's only gonna be one active assignment rules in the system. So what are assignment rules and how does it work? Assignment rules are rules that helps you allocate or assign a record to a user. Now, look at this. Assignment rule, records. Every time you create a record in the system, this is a record, right? This 1, 2, 3, they're all records in the system. Anytime you create a record in the system, it is assigned to an owner, meaning that someone owns this record. If you create a new record as a logged in user, the record will belong to you because you are the one creating that record. The lead owner. Who owns this record I just created? Me, because I am the one that's signing and I created this record. However, assignment rules helps you to assign records to different people that are not logged in or different people in the system. For instance, if you know that any lead that comes from Toronto or any leads that come from North America should be managed by test user, but test user would not be looking for that lead. Remember, when you go to the lead object, you have the privilege of doing what? My unread leads. You also have the privilege of filtering all the leads, and you can filter to my leads. So if leads come into the system and you're not the one creating the leads, how would you be able to see your leads? You can see your leads by filtering all the leads. But before we get there, how does the system know that the lead belongs to you? You use assignment rules to assign that leads to a user. So for you to assign a lead to a user, you must have what they call criteria. What is a criteria? It's just an English word. Criteria is the field that this lead will be checking to see if it matches what we have in system and to match it to the user we've designated for that field. Okay, so let me explain that. Criteria is used to find out, to find out an element, I would try to not use the word criteria. I'm trying not to use the word criteria because I'm trying to define criteria. Criteria is what you're checking to find out if something, if there is an element of that thing in a defined arrays of elements. Okay, that sounds a bit too technical, but let me break it down. Criteria is just what you're looking for. Criteria is what I'm looking for in whatever data is coming into the system. So now this data is coming to the system, for instance. This is the data that is coming to the system. The first name is Babatope. The last name is this and blah, blah, blah. This is data that is coming to the system. Criteria is looking for one particular thing that matches what you've set. So in this assignment rules, I said, if the lead source equals to web, if the lead source equal to web, that's criteria. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking at the lead source.
What must be true?
Like a condition to be met.
Condition, exactly.
Perhaps, yeah, condition. Thanks, condition. So if that is met, then it's going to do what you've instructed. Is like computer, but you're not writing the program. You're literally saying it in a click form, okay? So now let's define a new criteria. Let's define a new condition. The first thing you have to do is you set the order. The order means what's the priority of this criteria? There's so many criteria you can have. Look at the assignment rules. You have this criteria, you have this criteria. Now, if something is very important to you, would you put it on the third criteria? No, you want to put it at number 1 or number 2, okay? So now that we have number 1 as a sort order, we define what needs to be done. No, what condition needs to be met. And we say if the annual revenue is greater than or equal to $1 million, then guess what? I need my manager to be managing this lead. That's the purpose of assignment rules. Assignment rules delegates leads to people in the system based on criteria. So I'm going to say user, and I'm going to look up the user, then I will save. You also have the option of sending email, which I'm going to explain later. You save. So now you've set up an assignment rule and you say annual revenue greater than $1 million, greater than or equal to $1 million. So anytime we create a new lead and the annual revenue is greater than or equal to $1 million, it's going to assign it to this guy. But let me edit it and assign it to test user. So when we test, we can see that it's working, okay? Test user, and I save. So one thing you observe is this. When you put the order as 1, previously we have lead source as 1, city as 2. But when we put the order as 1, then it pushes the lead source to 2 and city to 3. But you have the liberty to reorder. By reordering, you just kind of like just give this order, then you just click on reorder, okay? And everything will just form based on what you've set. So now that we know that assignment rules will automatically assign a lead that is coming to the system based on the criteria we've set. How can you test that? You go to the front end and you create a new lead and you try to simulate that lead to have a revenue that is greater than $1 million. That's how you can test it. However, there's a catch. But before then, let me just put this here so you can see that we have a lead in the system and we create. But this wouldn't assign this lead to the guy we've set the lead to assign to. Okay? The reason why is when we're creating the lead, we are already associating that lead owner to Babatope. So the assignment rule is not active. We have already, by default, say the lead owner is this. So how would you be able to activate the assignment rule? You can activate the assignment rule by clicking on this. Assign using active assignment rule. If you don't click it, whatever you're doing in the assignment rule would not click in when you're doing this from the system. Remember, your lead are typically from an external web source. They're not really from the Salesforce interface. So chances are you might not be entering the lead directly from Salesforce, but you'll be loading it from the data loader, or people will be entering that lead in an external website and it's going to be coming to your Salesforce. So now let's try again, but this time around, we have to put the active assignment rule, and we have to put higher amount, okay? Then we save. So if you look at company ABC right now, if I go to the leads and I'm looking for company ABC leads, can you see is the first one and it's now test user, meaning that the active assignment rule has taken charge. The lead owner is not Babatope, but now the test user. That is assignment rule coming into play. But now, let me create another lead, and I'm going to make it $2 million, okay? I'm going to make it $2 million because I want the active assignment rule to take place, but I would also make
But the
I'll also
currency
make the
is in euros.
city Lagos. Doesn't matter. I'll also make the city Lagos. Oh, sorry, I did not click on active assignment rule. I'm just going to change this. Okay, save. I'm going to create a new lead. Active assignment rule needs to be checked. Annual revenue is 2 million and something, and the city is Lagos. Okay, I save. Remember, active assignment is check. Annual revenue is the range greater than or equal to 1 million. Go to details. But I want to see something. Okay, that yeah, that wasn't a very good, I need to change this user for you guys to see it, okay? I know some of you already figured out what I was trying to do, but for the sake of others, I will show you, okay? New lead. And I have something, I have ABC new lead. Okay, I'm going to make this $2 million, 2.5 million, and I'm going to make this Lagos, okay? So now that I have this in place and I'm going to check active assignment rule, the expectation is we have 2 million or something, $25 million, then it should go to test user, right? Save. Okay, so let me go to the leads and refresh. Okay, which one did I just create? I just created something. I'm trying to see. I've used
The one that has ABCD new lead, does it?
Oh, this one. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. This one was what I created and it's been assigned to test user. Now let me refresh this just to see what let me refresh this. Lead source is web. CT is lead queue, but CT is number 3. So the order of this is, the first thing it's going to check is the lead source web? If yes, then it's going to stop and just assign to Babatope. If the lead source is not web, it's going to go to number 2. And if the is not greater than 1 million, it's going to go to number 3. But I think what I was going to check the other time was the web source. Okay, so let me quickly just create that again. And I'm going to test with that. I'll just say last try so we can see that. Last try. So I have the lead source as web. I have the annual revenue as 25 million, and I have Lagos as my city. Okay, so I've put in some criteria which I've defined in my assignment through, but I want to see which one gets executed first. Okay, remember lead source web, annual revenue 250 million, and city is Lagos. Save.
Not checked.
You know, by default already it's assigned to you, Babatope. So nothing is going to change.
Sorry?
I mean, we won't see the effect because by default it's assigned to you. Do you understand?
Yes, but
I want
now
to the best criteria, which is if lead source is web, should be assigned to you.
yeah, I wanted to show you that if lead is web, it's going to assign to me. So if it was annual revenue,
by default it's already assigned to you. When you're filling form,
we don't have much users in the system, so it's very hard to illustrate, but you get the point, right? The assignment tree just helps you, but this order determines which one gets executed. And once there is a matching criteria, it just stops, and the other you don't get to check the other ones. Okay, that's all I'm just trying to explain. We have limited users, so it's probably not very effective with the explanation. But the bottom line is, if I have this deleted, okay, so that means I have this and I have this. I'm going to make this a 1 and I'm going to make this 2. Reorder. So technically, if the city is Lagos and the annual revenue is over $1 million, it should be going to the lead queue, not this, okay? Not the test user. So we can actually demonstrate this if you guys want. But the bottom line is you should be able to use the order to determine your priority of assignment. That's the thing I'm trying to bring out here. Your priority of assignment will be based on this order, okay? So now we go to the next thing. The next thing was auto response rule. And auto response rule, okay, lead auto response rule is what happens when someone or when a record is being created in the system and it matches a criteria you've set for an auto response. What's an auto response? Auto response are the emails you get when you fill a form. Auto response are the things I think mostly emails. I don't think the test is enabled on Salesforce, although you can enable SMS, okay? But I don't think it's enabled yet, but it's mostly emails. So auto response means it is automatically sent based on a criteria. It is not sent because someone goes into the system and send the email. English language auto response, because of a criteria you've set, then it sends an email to you. That's auto response, okay? And if I could show you my primary email, I would have shown you all the emails I got because a lead was sent to Lagos. A lead was meeting a criteria sent to Lagos. Okay. So now, if you have auto response rule enabled, you have to activate it. Just like any other rule, you have to activate it. The reason why Salesforce gives you that privilege is because chances are you might not want to have things going on when you're loading in data. You might not want to have these auto response rules on. Imagine you're loading in data for legacy and you're sending emails to all your leads in the system. They'll just be trying to figure out, why are these people sending me emails? I already filled the form 5 years ago. Why am I still getting emails? So you want to disable the auto response rule. You want to disable certain things, and Salesforce makes it easier for you to just disable it. Okay? That's why we have active and inactive rules in place. But the bottom line is auto response rule is just the things you get immediately when you meet a certain criteria set from whatever the system admin has configured. Again, just the same way we have for every other rules in Salesforce, you have to set criteria based on the field. There's no way you can set auto-response true without meeting a criteria you've defined, right? And one thing you should also know is that it's not only about the objects you can set the criteria on. You can also set criteria on the current user. You can set the criteria on other things as well, which you might not have an idea of where the objects are coming from. So for instance, D&B companies like an external things to Salesforce, but it's also used to manage leads. So D&B company is used to kind of like clean up a lead and make sure that we don't have duplicate leads in the system. Okay, so now that you know what auto-response rules are, you can, the same way, set the criteria for your auto-response rule. When it meets certain criteria, you will get an email from the system. Okay, let's go to lead settings and default owners. We talked about lead settings yesterday, and let me explain that again. Lead settings is just a basic stuff in Salesforce that helps you to determine what should happen based on certain things. For instance, if you want to hide opportunities on conversion of your lead, you can easily hide it. So lead settings, just like any other applications you use, settings is just a way to configure certain things for a particular object, right? So lead setting just helps you configure that things. Right now, we say if a lead comes into the system, remember, we set assignment rules to assign the lead to an owner. But if the assignment rules fail, or we just couldn't find the owner, or we just couldn't find the user in the system, then there has to be a default owner of this record. That default owner is what Salesforce is asking you to provide here. You can either provide a user or you can provide a queue. Okay, so default owner is just technically like, okay, we couldn't find this user, so what should we do? Then you use a default owner. Okay, that's what the setting is about. And this is where you get it from. There's also a possibility for you to actually get a lead from LinkedIn directly. Okay, I did not mention this yesterday, but if you connect your LinkedIn account to your Salesforce, you can fill a form on LinkedIn and it automatically comes into your lead object. You don't know how these marketing guys are collecting information, but when you see customized email or customized adverts, these are the tools they are using to get your details and customize that advert based on these tools. Okay, so that's pretty much on lead assignments, lead defaults, and one of the last things I also taught yesterday was matching rules. So I told you about duplicate management. Duplicate management, what are they, right? Duplicate management are just a way to clean up data in Salesforce to ensure that you do not put in duplicates in the system. You have the liberty to create duplicates, and Salesforce will tell you that this duplicate exists in the system. And that option requires you to either allow or block when creating duplicates. So it gives you the option to say, okay, when creating a duplicate, should I allow it and just inform the user that there's a possible duplicate in the system, or should I just block it? So if you're creating a duplicate rules, which is the rules that you put in place to catch duplicates, you have the option to say allow or block. Allow or block. On edit, meaning that when the lead has already been created, fine. What if I'm editing? If it matches duplicate, should I allow or I should block it? That's what this is saying. So how do you create a duplicate rules? How do you create a duplicate rule? The first thing you need to do is create a matching rule. How would you identify a duplicate if you don't know what the matching rules are? The matching rules are essentially the things you're checking for that constitutes to be a duplicate. So for instance, if you're saying first name and last name cannot be the same in if you're saying someone called Babatope Olajide cannot be in the system twice. That means my first name and my last name should be unique in the system. There are ways to do this, okay? There are ways to do this. But let me talk about matching rules, and I'll now tell you another way which you can do it. Okay? So we say new rule, then we choose the object of interest, in this case, lead. Then we select whatever we're checking. You can just give it a generic rule, right? Checking duplicates. Okay, sorry, it's not typing. Accounts, or let's just say name duplicates. Name duplicates. That's what I'm checking, name duplicates. And I'm checking the first name of the lead. And I'm checking the last name of the lead. So I'm saying if the first name exact match, the last name exact match, then I should stop the creation. So match blank fields just make it a bit like very, very wide. Imagine having Babatope and the last name is blank. It's going to say duplicate, and that doesn't make sense, right? So you don't want to do that. So now you're doing name check duplicates. You don't want the first name and last name to be duplicates in the system. So anytime we have Babatope Olajide, that's it. Okay? Then you have to now go to duplicate rules to go and create that duplicate rule. The duplicate rule again is on the object of interest, lead. Then you can say, okay, I'm checking name check, something like that. But try to use a very descriptive rule name so you can always remember why you created that duplicate rule, okay? Because if you use something that you cannot really describe in future, it's going to be very hard for someone to come back and understand this, okay? So you now say
match the matching rule name so that you know that this was created together.
Yeah, perhaps that would be good. Yes. So you decide what should happen, allow or block. Should this be allowed when creating or block? You decide that. After that, you can specify what test you want. But more importantly, what you need to do is select the matching rule, which is the name duplicate check. First name, exact match, last name, exact match. Consider it a duplicate and you save. So meaning that anytime the first name and last name are the same, then we must stop the person from creating it. But before we can activate this, we need to have activated our name check duplicate. So the matching rules needs to be activated before you can activate the duplicate rules that is referencing the matching rule, okay? Activate. So now we have that. So now in future, if we try to enter a new lead into the system and it matches the same first name and last name we previously had, it's going to stop us from creating that lead. Okay, so now let's try it. It says the record looks like an existing record. Make sure you check any potential duplicate records before saving. So if you view the duplicates, it's going to give you all instances of that lead in the system. Then you can now select a particular lead you want instead of having to enter that lead. That's duplicate true. But if you're very tech savvy, if you're a developer, if you're aspiring to become a developer, while that it's easy to do, you can also use validation rules. You can use so many things to do whatever you want, right? So it's up to you. I'm just kind of like giving an example. If I want to do the same thing, I can just create a new field, okay? And I'm going to call it formula. Then I'm going to say test, and I'm going to say full name, okay? I say full name, next. Then I can just say insert first name, last name, okay? once you insert first name, last name, and you can make that field unique, or you can keep it in the background. And once you have that first name, last name, you make it unique. That's all you need to do. And anytime you have duplicates, obviously, if it's unique field, it will not let you save because that field needs to be unique. And you already have full name called Babatope Olajide in the system. So there are different ways which you can do this. Duplicate rules is just a feature of Salesforce that helps you to do this easily, okay? Duplicate management, and it can be used for other objects, not just lead, okay? It can be used for other objects. Have that at the back of your mind. So now that we have that, I'm going to go to email templates before I go to web to lead. So email templates, I think we have different kinds of email templates, classic and the lightning email templates. The classic email templates are just pre-made email templates, which Salesforce gives to you to edit and use, okay? And there's also lightning email templates. So we created a lightning email template yesterday, and for you to create a lightning email, you just enable this so you can put it in the folder. You can put it in the folder. Someone is making background noise. I don't know. Chairman, please, can you mute? Thanks. So now we have that. I go to email templates. So what are email templates? Email templates are just pre-made templates for you to use for communication in the system. For instance, you have your lead. If you have your leads, you can send email to a lead. For instance, I think you should be able to send email. I think it's in the campaign. I'll show you that when we get there. So email template just helps you, right? Create a pre-made test using the system, like using a template. Okay, so I'm just going to say welcome email, like what I did yesterday. Welcome email. Put it in a folder which you prefer, public, for instance. You can also put it in private. Private means you and the admin would have access to it. Public, anyone can use it. Okay, so just describe the email template is a welcome email. Okay, then you give it a subject. Again, for you to like when I give information in this fields, I usually just go with the flow, right? But please just don't go with the flow. Always request from the BA the name you should use as a template name. It's very important, especially when you're working in an enterprise, a bigger organization, because your developer might be using this in the code. So if the BA is saying the template name will be called email, then developer will now query where email template is welcome email. But if you just go with the flow and just randomly put anything here, developer might not be able to retrieve this email. So always make sure that you use the convention, right? What we typically use at work is whatever project we're working on, let's say we're working on vaccine project or something like that, then we'll say VAS templates, welcome email or something like that. Okay, so we can just give developer this code and developer can easily identify this email template in the app. They can easily identify and use this email template. But if you don't specify, or if you're just going with the flow, it might be very hard for the developer to use. So always try to use something meaningful and something that makes sense to the project you're working on. So now, one of the special things about this email template is the merge fields. The merge fields enables you to customize the email. For instance, you can easily say, dear first name. Dear first name. So instead of you saying just dear, you can easily say dear first name. And it's going to pull the first name of the lead. This will pull the first name of the lead. Thank you. Okay, so now that we have that, we have an email template in place. So anytime we want to send an email in the system, we can reference these email templates. And a good candidate for that is auto response rule. So the auto response rule, which I was describing to you earlier, you need to use an email template for whatever response you want to send out. This is where the email template comes into place. Okay? So as you can see that everything you're learning is now coming into place. But the most important thing here is you just need to pay attention. Like you need to start getting familiar with what Salesforce can do. That's where you become a consultant. As an admin, you probably wouldn't do all this. To be honest with you, admin, what you'll be doing is user setup. I keep telling you, you'll be surprised that what you'll be doing as an administrator is users, profiles, and page layouts. You will not be doing all this technical stuff. This is what a consultant will typically do. And as a BA, you don't even need to do this stuff. You just need to know that this is what lead assignment rules is or are. This is lead process. You need to know that Salesforce has this stuff. As a project manager, all you just need to know is how to estimate things. What do I mean by that? If your developer or your consultant tells you, I need to create a duplicate rule and a duplicate matching rules, it's going to take me 8 hours. Then you can ask your developer or your consultant, why is duplicate management rules going to take you 8 hours? Give me a reason for that, because you can easily say, all you just need to do is go to setup, go to duplicate management, and go figure it out, right? So you don't need to implement it, but you need to be aware of it. You need to be aware of it. So when they're talking about it, you know what to say. When they're estimating how long it's going to take, you know how to give a good estimate for that activity. Okay? So don't get yourself overwhelmed with all this stuff. The only people that would require or need to know this are the consultants, because they work on projects. And after 3 months, they go on to different projects. That's why consulting, you can learn so much in a very short period, and you can demand higher pay, but it's very, very demanding. It's very stressful at times. Okay. So having said that, I think we've pretty much touched base on everything we learned yesterday besides web to lead. So let me quickly just show you web to lead. Web to lead, I've been telling you a lot about assignment rules and stuff like that. But how do you create that lead into the system? Remember, you have to connect an external system into Salesforce. Salesforce has already given you a pre-made feature that will make it easier for you to connect that external system. One of the features is called web to lead, meaning that they will provide you with HTML code, and you can include all the fields you want in that HTML code. After that, you can now give your developer or an external person that is developing your website the HTML code. How do you create that HTML code? You go to web to lead, you drag all the fields of interest, and you provide the redirection. When someone clicks on submit on the form which you are creating, what should happen? Okay, I'm going to disable this because it's going to take a while to configure reCAPTCHA. But when you generate this HTML, this is what you're going to give your developer. Once you give your developer this, your developer will now create a website for your company that looks like this. And they will put a contact form on the website. When an external user fills that contact forms, it goes into your Salesforce lead objects, because this code has automatically made it possible. And this is what Salesforce is looking at. This, the org ID. So it's hidden, you don't get to see it, but if I send any data into this org ID, based on this post function, it will automatically create a lead in the system. So this is an overview of what we learned yesterday. I have to do it again just to make sure that you learn it better and you understand it and also know the scope of interest. So don't overwhelm yourself with a lot of things. Just know what I'm talking about and be able to convince your recruiter that you know what leads are. Then when you get on the job, you can now start practicing more. When someone is paying you for something, you learn better. But when you're giving it for free, you don't learn at all. So get on in the ecosystem and you start practicing all this while you're working with a live org, okay? So I'm going to take a pause here to find out if you guys have any questions. Then we go into what we have for today for the next 30 minutes and we stop, okay? I think Vinita has a question. So Vinita, you can unmute yourself and speak.
Hi, Babatope.
Yep.
I have a question regarding lead assignment rules.
Yeah.
As an admin, when I create a record and I forget to check the box of active assignment rule, I am the owner of the new lead. So how do I manage, if I have to assign it to somebody else?
You can just change owner. Just give it to someone else. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
One more question is, did we yesterday learn about lead queue for an example?
Yes. I did not touch lead queue, but queues are just general place you put a record, right? So you can create different queues for different objects. And yesterday we created lead queue, meaning that if you don't want to assign to a user, we can assign to a queue. Queue is like where you just dump records and someone that is associated to that queue can go pick up that records. I gave an example of when you call the customer center in a very big organization. You get on the wait list, and when someone is available to pick a call, they pick your call and they say, welcome, blah, blah, blah. That's what is called queue. That one will be called phone queue, but that one is communication. But this one is Salesforce. We create a queue called, let's just say, sample lead queue. Okay. Then we give it the lead objects. You have to select the object of interest. Then who are the members of this queue? You add the users of this queue. You can also add public groups. You can also add rows. So many options for you to select. Once you have this sample lead queue, then you can create assignment rules that will be assigned to the sample lead queue instead of a user. So now let's say we have a criteria that says when email, no, that's not good. When industry equals agriculture, for instance, when the industry equals agriculture, I want to assign to a queue called sample lead queue. Okay, sample lead queue. And if I want to send an email, I can send an email, but I'm not sending an email. I'm saving. So remember, industry needs to be agriculture. Then it goes to sample lead queue. Then if you now create a new lead in the system, you click on new and you select industry. You select industry as agriculture, but obviously make sure that you're activating the assignment rule. You save, and when you save, you can go to the details. You can see the owner is sample lead queue. Now, when I was creating the sample lead queue, I added 2 users to the sample lead queue. How do I see that queue? I go back to my lead objects and I go to my view. I can see sample lead queue. This is how you get to see the queue you've created. Sample lead queue, you now see the lead that just got created. You can select this lead and accept it. Once you accept it, the owner will now change to your name because you're the one that is currently logged in. But if it was someone else that logged in, they click on this and they accept it to go to them. So a queue does not have owner. It's an exam question. A queue does not have owner. You have to accept data record from that queue to own that record. So now if I go back to the lead, I can see that the record now belongs to me. Okay, so that's queue, and that's how to create queue. So let's go to Vinita. Are you okay? Is
Thank
good?
you.
All
Yeah,
good?
thank you. Yeah, got it.
Ultimate, please. Ultimate, you can.
Hi, Babatope. Can you please touch base with record types and a use case, please?
I think we discussed about record types a couple of days ago, but I will just quickly touch it just because of time. I will quickly touch it and we can quickly move on from there. So I explained the last time, record types are just ways which you can manage the pick list values that appears in your form field. For instance, if I'm creating a new lead, and if you see this pick list value, we have open, user verify, and the likes. Industry, we have agriculture, apparel, banking, and the likes. Currency, we have this and the likes, okay? So record types helps you manage what display, the records, the data that is being displayed in a pick list. That's one use case for a record type. It helps you manage this display, and you can now select the relevant data that is needed for that record. Let me give you an example. When a lead is coming from the web, okay? When a lead is coming from the web, you might not want to, no, when a lead is coming from the web, you might want to collect an email, for instance. You might want to collect the email address. You can use record type to either set email to be available based on a particular record, for instance, web lead, or take the email off if it's not web lead. So now let me explain and give you an example. I have a lead object. To create a record type, I need to go to the record types of the lead. I think when I was doing that, I gave an example of web leads and phone leads, but let me give you another example. I'm just going to say a record type called lead from web. So this is a record type, and I'm going to make it active for the system admin. Next, then, sorry. Okay, we have a process, so I have to select a process. Next, page layout is lead sample, save. So now that we have a record type called leads from web, okay? Remember what I told you. When you're creating a new lead, the record types helps you to take certain things off based on what you prefer. So if I say lead from web, the only industry I want is education and consulting. If the lead is coming from web, the only option I want available in the industry should be education and consulting. Then I go to industry. Remember, lead from web record type, go to industry. Then I take off everything, and I'm going to leave consulting and education. Then I save. So anytime a lead is coming from the web, it's going to have consulting and education as the only option for its industry field. Leads from web, the record type which I created. Then I go to the industry, consulting and education. So the record types enables me to filter down all the pick list value and only focus on the possible pick list value that should be present whenever the record matches the record type I've selected. Does that make sense?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah. And you can use record types to do a lot of things as well. Not just this, but you can also use it to clean up the page layout. So if you don't want to collect certain information, if the lead is coming from the web, you can just take it off in the page layout and you assign that page layout to that record type. And I think I explained this in one of our classes. Please try to watch the video and you will see how to use record types and page layouts. Okay. So I think that's good for me right now, but try to watch the videos and you get to learn better. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Tosi, please.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you for going through this again, because honestly, yesterday it was difficult for me to grab the concept. So I do now. Secondly, my question is, when you were doing the queue, when you're on queues, I noticed that you had to go and, as one of the members of the queue, you had to go and accept the particular lead. Do you understand? So my question is it not possible for it to be auto-assigned? So if none of the members of a particular queue go and accept a lead, does it mean that that lead remain unassigned? Do you understand?
Yes. If no one accept the queue, if no one accept the lead in the queue, it's going to remain in the queue until someone accepts it.
So it means that has to be manually done. It's not as if the queue automatically assign it to members of a queue. Do you understand?
No.
Okay,
no.
Right. Okay, thanks.
No worries, thanks.
Then the third thing is this. You know, sometimes you have long classes. Like, is it possible to have like just a suggestion, like a 5-minute break in between? Especially when you start stretching over 2 hours. Just wondering.
Okay. Yeah. I was thinking that's the idea for this little break, but carry on. You can have your little break. We're gonna have probably 5 minutes break as well. Yeah, we can take that offline and discuss it. Yeah, thanks. Adiola, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Babatope. My question is, when creating the lead and you want to put the fields, I see 5 rows there for the criteria. So the question is it possible to have 5 criteria each for each order, and then you have a total of 15 criteria for 3 orders?
So what you're saying is this, right? This is it,
please.
Right?
Yes.
So you're saying you want to have 5 criteria?
Yes. Is it possible?
But you can have more rows, right?
Oh, more rows, okay. So you can have more.
You can also have filter logic. For instance, you can say lead equals industry equals agriculture, or city equals Lagos, right? How do you do that?
Okay.
You say 1, you say 2, but you say 1 or 2. So you can say if lead equals, if the industry equals agriculture, or city equals Lagos. This is 1, this is 2.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where you put the filter logic if you want to use that. So you don't have to constantly write new rules entry. You can just write one entry and you use filter logic for that. And you can even just write all this inside just one.
Inside just one. Okay,
yes.
Beautiful. I think you have partly answered my next question. My next question is, are the inputs on the fields, are they dependent or independent of each other? But I think your answer now just answered that question. If I use all, like for example, then that means they are independent of each other.
Yes. So that matches 1 or 2. That's it.
Okay, and I'm thinking now, and you said for these orders, right? They are order 1 has to happen before 2 or before 3, right?
1 comes first based on the order. 1 will be evaluated. If 1 has been met, 2, 3 would not even be analyzed. It will not go to 2 or 3 because 1 has been met.
Okay.
So if 1 is met, if industry is agriculture, that's it. I'm good. Assigned to sample the key. That's what it's going to do. Okay.
Okay. So that means if I put, like, say, 6 fields in 1, it will check everything in 1 before going to 2.
It will always evaluate the first one before going to the second one.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
No worries. Tammy, please. Tammy. Okay, we need to move faster because we still have something to do today.
Yeah, I know you were talking about Babatope, but thank you for the lecture, though. You were talking about Salesforce being able to connect to external, should I say, databases?
System. Oh, database or system?
System, yeah. So that brings me to my question: if it has the capabilities to connect to like Cosmos DB for like those.
Yeah, those are architecture stuff. Let's focus on the lectures for today. Those are architecture stuff, and unless you're aspiring.
No, I just need a yes and no answer. If it does that, I just wanted to know.
Okay. It can. Salesforce can do anything. It's one of the best CRM. It can do anything, like literally anything. Okay, it can connect to anything. It can even connect to other CRM if you want to. Okay. Obviously, that's a bit pointless, right? But you can do that if you want to. You get it. Echo, please.
Yes, thank you so much, Professor. I just need a clarification. You made mention of the fact that a queue doesn't have an owner. So leads have to be accepted and assigned to an owner. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. That's all for me. Thank you.
Omar, please.
Please, what's the difference between the pick list for field and pick list for records? I find it a bit confusing.
Record types is different from pick list. So what are you referring pick list for record?
Yeah, when you want to set the kind of record you want, you go to pick list, right? To filter what should show. And then for field as well, we also do pick list, right? For field, in fields.
Tell me, how do I do pick list in fields?
Like if you select a particular field and
so
you're adding...
This is a field. This is a field. There's
no like you just... Oh.
There's no pick list. Pick list is when you have this arrow. When you see a drop down, that's a pick list. But when you have a field like this, there's no pick list.
Okay, so do you mean anything I see with the pick list is a record?
No. I explain what a record is. This is a record. This one row is a record. This one row is a record. Okay, I explain what a record is.
I have that question. I have that question.
He's saying that if you are creating a new field, you can either decide whether it's a text or pick list.
Exactly. When you're creating a new field, you have the choice to select.
Yes, that's where you go to fields and relationships. You go to new, and you select the type of field you're creating, pick list or a text field. The data type, sorry, you select data type and it can be text or pick list. Is that what you meant?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That is that, we have pick list for records. We have pick list in field. Like, are they two different? I just found it a little bit confusing.
I think what you're trying to ask is like record type is used to manage pick list. I don't know if that's what you're trying. Like pick list, yes, when you're doing you get a pick list, but you can use a record type to manage the pick list. Like if you have a pick list, you use the record type to put, okay, this pick list, you want this so thing to be on this record type, you put it here. You want this to be on the other, maybe let's say premium, basic. You use record type to give different spaces to those pick lists.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Then in the field as well, you can decide to have pick lists, right?
Yes, that's what he just showed you. That's what he showed you. If you want to do a pick list for someone, you can put it there like that.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, no worries. Last question. Then we go to campaign. Shagun, please.
For an assignment for a task that has already been taken from a queue, and probably the user does not have time, can it be reassigned to another user?
Yeah, someone asked that question and I just say change the owner. Change the owner. Assignment is just assigning to user, right? Then we can just change the owner and makes life easier for us. Salesforce is a very robust tool. You just need to kind of like pay attention to all those features. And you can see that whatever you want to do, it's easy, can be done. And if you don't know how to do it, just go on Google and find out how to do it. Just type Google, how to reassign records, Salesforce, and it's going to tell you, you change owner and that's it. I don't have to remember this, but I've done it several times, but you can see it says change owner. That's it, right? So always remember that Salesforce has everything, but you need to that's why the project I gave to you will teach you a lot of things. You're going to make mistakes, but you're going to learn as well, okay? Rita, I want to go to teaching again, but what's the question?
Sorry, I just wanted to write on the back of the question about pick lists. Just to reconfirm that dependent pick lists are different from the pick list that you create, that you manage with record types, right?
Oh, yeah. That's totally different. Dependent pick lists and controlling pick lists are different concepts compared to record types and pick lists, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So now let's go to our lessons for today, which is obviously on campaign. Campaign and leads are interrelated. What do I mean by that? You create leads in the system, but how do you communicate with those leads? You communicate with those leads using campaigns. Campaigns are used to store and track information about direct mail programs, maybe emails, marketing, and all those kind of stuff. Okay, so it's not really an English word, but it's a use case of what Salesforce. I think Salesforce has Marketing Cloud, right? So you don't really use campaigns as such in Sales Cloud. In this Sales Cloud, there's another separate cloud for managing users, campaign journeys, and stuff like that. But at this higher level, campaigns are just what you create to reach out to your potential customers, which are leads, okay? But you could also use campaign to reach out to your accounts, and you can use campaign to reach out to your contacts. So not just lead, okay? Lead, contact, and account can be associated to campaigns, okay? Now, before we get campaigns, as you can see, campaign, you can do new and you can edit and delete campaign. But before you can use campaign features, you need to have what license? You need to have a license called marketing user. I've explained this almost 3 to 4 times, but I have to show you again. Without a marketing user license, you cannot use the campaign feature. This is a feature license in Salesforce. Even though the system admin profile, you have a system admin profile, you still need to have a marketing user feature license before you can work with campaign. Right now, we have new, we have edit and the likes. If I refresh this now, it will be gone because the license has been taken off that user. Okay, so remember, for you to use the marketing, the campaign feature, you need to have the marketing user feature license. So now what are the capabilities of campaign? The same way we can create paths in leads, we can also create paths in campaigns. So how do we do that? I told you the last time we have paths, path settings. Then you create a new path and you say campaign path, okay? Then you select the campaign object. If you don't have a record type selected, automatically the master record type takes place. The master record type you don't get to see, but that's the default record types, okay? The status is what is being used because that's the only pick list you have. If you have other pick lists, they will come up here and you can decide which one to use in the path. Now that we have this, we click on next and we activate, we finish. So now that we've created a campaign path, how do we put it on our page? You can put it on your page by going to the setup, but instead of going to setup, you go to edit page. The edit page enables you to put different things into your record page, okay? That's the campaign path, which we just created. We save and we activate. Once we activate, it will automatically come into our campaign record page. That's how you create a part in a campaign. As you can see, it makes it a little bit progressive, or would I say something more interactive, or something that looks like a life cycle of a campaign and stuff like that. You plan a campaign, is in progress, is completed, is aborted, right? So that's how you create a part in a campaign. You can also add people to your campaign. So what do I mean by people? Members, campaign members. Campaign members are the people that you're sending the campaign to. So let's say, for instance, you want to create a social media campaign. So let's create new social media campaign. Okay. And you put the start date, you put all the stuff, right? Because you already know whatever you want to do. Then you make it active, okay? If you don't make it active, it won't be active. And now that it's active, you want to send, I don't know whatever it is, but you want to send information to these people, right? Because these are the campaigns you've created, and you need to send information to them. You send information using campaign members. So campaign members and campaign members are related. Campaign members are the people you're sending the information to. Always remember that. Campaign members, they are the people you're sending information to. So who are the people? Leads. An example of a lead is someone that is in the system, okay? Leads, I had to my campaign member, meaning that I want to send an email to this guy. I can also add contacts in the system, okay? I can create a contact and I can add a contact to the campaign. I can also add accounts, but it's not showing here. How do we add account to a campaign? How do we add account to a campaign? Okay, I think you have to enable it. Account settings. No. Campaign, account as campaign members, yes. Enable, save. You don't have to worry too much about things like this. The reason why I can remember all this stuff is because I've done them before, okay? But for you, you need to go to Google and find out how to add accounts to campaign. That's your number one way of finding out, okay? Right now, if I refresh this page, I'm going to see accounts, and I can add accounts to campaigns. So now you've seen how to add campaign members. Campaign members are the people. They are the people you're sending the campaign to. Now, how do you send campaign out to people? How do you send campaign out? You click on send campaign, okay? Like send list email. That's a tool you will use to send out campaign. All the emails you get from people, some of them might be coming from Salesforce. Now you say Black Force training is on. Those that are doing work experience, these are the kind of things you'll be doing, okay? Black Force training is on. Now you don't want to put a generic stuff, right? You want to use what? A template. Remember, we had a template created for us yesterday, and this is what we're using. It's going to get the contact first name and the likes. Also, you can use some match fields, but because you're already using templates, you cannot use match fields because you use that match fields in the templates and you bring the templates here. Alternatively, you can just use templates and that's it, right? Then you can determine whether to send it later or you're sending it now. That means you can schedule this campaign to sometime in the future, okay? Then you can send it immediately or you can save it as drafts. There are other things you can do with a campaign as well. What can you do with a campaign? You can check the performance of a campaign. You can see who is in a campaign. Social media campaign, if you go to the campaign members, it's going to tell you who is in that campaign, and it's going to tell you how you're performing. Okay, you can add and you can also remove. But one thing you can also do is you can import. You can import leads and contacts into your campaign members. Think about it. I can bring data from a legacy system and just add it into Salesforce, and I can send email to up to 5,000 people in Salesforce. I think within 24 hours or something like that. So there's a limitation, but you can send email to up to 5,000 people at a time in Salesforce. So now you've seen how campaign works. Basically, you create a campaign, you make it active, and you fill in all those details. In addition to that, you add people to that campaign. Okay? You can also add opportunities to that campaign. So opportunities are just the things you're selling. So if someone buys an opportunity, you can see how effective your campaign is doing. Okay? You can see the effectiveness of your campaign. And that's what they call the campaign influence. The campaign influence, it shows the influence of your campaign to whatever, marketing plan and stuff like that. I don't know much about the campaign influence, but you just need to know that concept. That is what they call the campaign influence. And it is a metric used to find out the performance of your campaign. Okay? So now that we know that, let's go back to campaign members. We can manage campaign members. When we manage campaign members, we can determine whether we want to load more data into campaign members. This is an exam question. They will ask you the standard objects. I know we haven't gotten into data import yet, but they'll ask you, how many standard objects can you use for data import wizard? I've shown you about 3, 4 now: lead, accounts and contacts, campaign members, and I think solution. Okay. So when we get to data loader, when we get to data management, you get to know about it, but you should be paying attention to all this stuff as well, right? So now that you can import campaign members, why does it keep going to this? You can import campaign members. You can also manage the status of these campaign members. Right now, this doesn't have anything. Let's go to social media. It has at least 2. I go to the campaign members and I click on update status, right? So before I can update the status, I need to select 1 or 2 campaign members and click on update status and say, okay, they've responded to my campaign. Good. I update them to as responded. But you can also click on this and update them based on whatever you want to put. For instance, you can put title and all those kind of stuff, right? And you can delete them if you want to. One thing you can also do with campaign is, if you have an existing campaign, you can clone it. So I have an existing campaign. I should be able to clone it. So there's a difference between cloning a campaign and clone with related. Clone a campaign would just clone the campaign without adding the members. But clone with related would add everything you have added in the related section of the campaign. So there is more to do with campaign, but they're very basic. They're very basic. It's something that you can easily just be looking and you can tell what they mean, right? For instance, hierarchy. You can add a campaign and add another campaign under a campaign. Meaning that if I create a new campaign, I can now say Facebook social media campaign. Meaning that this campaign would be associated to social media campaign. Okay, so this is going to be the parent campaign and this is going to be the child. But don't see it in form of object, okay? Just see it in form of parents, kind of like see it in form of hierarchy and stuff like that, okay? That's what you want to see. So now if you go to the main campaign called social media, you can see a sub-campaign of social media campaign called Facebook social media campaign. And there's also what they call influence, campaign influence. I think I mentioned that earlier. To to do campaign influence, let me see. Campaign influence. Yeah, this is campaign influence settings. You have to enable it. Once you enable it, then you can go to campaign influence. It's going to come up. Previously, you wouldn't see it, but now it's going to come up. But also you want to put campaign influence maybe in your campaign. And how do you do that? You just go to the related tab and it can bring, is there campaign influence? There's no campaign influence there. Let's go to opportunities. Page layout for opportunities and go to related. Okay, so give me 1 minute. I need to user permission set. CRM. Manage assignments. So there are some certain permission that you need to be able to use certain campaign features. One of them is a CRM user license, okay? This is just a permission set license. You know, I told you about different types of license, the user license, the feature license, and the permission set license, okay? So if you have that, you can drag campaign influence into your opportunity session. So let me just see if I can have campaign influence in my opportunity session. Let me see the hierarchy. Okay, let me go back and go to opportunity. Before that, let me check the campaign settings, campaign influence settings. Modal settings is in place. Campaign influence settings. I don't need this, so I can go to opportunities and see if I can drag it there. Campaign influence in related. This is campaign influence. Then I can drag it there, okay? So campaign influence is just to see the influence of a particular campaign on that opportunity. You don't, like, this is more of a sales feature, but you just need to kind of like, you know, understand what campaign influence is and try to relate it in terms of whatever experience you have from previous jobs, okay? I don't know much about this, but I just want you to know that it exists in Salesforce and you can use it. So I want to put a pause here because, again, I've shared a lot of information to you guys in the last 15, 20 minutes. I want to find out if you guys are still with me and if you guys have any questions. Okay, are these new hands? Tammy, you want to ask a question? Or if you're not asking a question, you could just drop your hand so I know who is asking questions. Okay. So if you're asking questions, just raise your hand. If you're not asking, just drop your hand so I can call, please. Okay. Remember you previously raised your hand up. You can drop now if you're not asking questions. Okay, Eko, please unmute yourself and speak.
All right, thank you, Babatope. Just needed, I think I heard you just to know if that's correct. You said the types of user license in Salesforce include the user license, the feature license, and also the permission set license. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so those are the three types of licenses in Salesforce.
Yes, you have majorly three types of licenses, and the user license, the feature license, and the permission set license.
Okay, so there are others, but these are the major ones, right?
Yeah, but it depends on the, but these are the major ones. Yes, these are the major ones you get. But if you go to company information, you get to see user licenses, permission sets, feature license, and I think that's it. But you now have licenses under those licenses, right? But these are the things that you pay for, really. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Amor, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to drop my hands. You answered a long time ago. Thank you.
Okay, Rita, please.
Sorry, same with me. Let me take my hand down.
Okay. Rosemary, please.
Okay, thank you. I just want to know why the campaign influence is on the opportunity layout and not in the campaign.
You can also put it on the campaign as well. I was looking for it, I couldn't find it, but you can also put it
in the object manager. You didn't find it there, but you found it.
Yes. Yes. I was looking for it, I couldn't find it, but we should be able to put it there. Let me see.
Yeah.
Campaign, page layout.
Yeah.
Campaign member, influence opportunities. I couldn't find it. I can check it for you and probably get back to you. Rosemary, right? Yeah. I know it should be there, but I couldn't find it. Maybe it's in the member. Let me check the member. Campaign, because you need to associate influence to something, right? Like, no, it's not here. It's not here. Yeah, I'll get back to you on that. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Adewale, please.
Thank you very much, Babatope. You said campaign is a feature of marketing, and I do have ideas about what you're trying to illustrate, but just to be able to be sure, I need you to probably give me everyday example. For example, how you can use campaign to reach out to leads, accounts, and so, because I don't want to just think campaign is just a social media platform, right? Or a tool where you can use to reach out to a number of people. Can you just give me an example of the kind of content that might be in a message you're sending to a lead or an account, for example? Account is even more important to me than leads. What sort of message or content can you have in a campaign as a marketing feature that you want to send to account, for example?
You can just grab, for instance, HTML tags. Literally, you can design your template and import it here. So it's going to look professional and everything, but the kind of campaigns or the kind of email you want to send to an account, for instance, is you want to go to your account, okay? You go to your account and you can send email based on this list. For instance, I can filter down. No, let me go to reports. Okay. And I'm going to create a new report on account or maybe on lead. Then I'll just say filter. Okay. I want to filter based on net worth or something like that. Let's just say these are the accounts network. Okay. In the system. Net worth account people, right? Then I can just quickly, this is a net worth account. I can just add to campaign. Okay, Facebook social media. Now that I've added these accounts to Facebook social media, then I can just go to Facebook social media and I can send emails to those people. Can you see? It saves you time of sending email to one person at a time, but it sends email to all the contacts in that account. That's how you communicate with your customer. The same thing with lead. You can create a report on lead, and that report, you can do a lot of filters. We haven't gotten to report yet. That's why I don't want to show you much information about this. Okay. But you can actually filter based on whatever it is. Okay, go to filter and just say when the lead was created based on X amount of days, like Wednesday and Friday. Okay, all the leads that were created within this period, obviously we do not have a lead in this period, right? You save, and once you save, then you can add to the campaign. Obviously, there is no record. That's why you're getting this. But if we had a record, you add it to the campaign, and you can send email to the campaign. Now you're saying what type of email. It's up to you what email you want to send, okay? You can compose the email, whatever it is. You can use a template. You can compose the email, and you can design the email. Just go to Salesforce email templates. I saw Builder somewhere, right? You can make it look really nice, and you can just copy and paste. And those emails you get from RBC and all those kind of stuff, they're just templates, and they just change the names and stuff like that. So once you have the templates, then when you're sending campaigns, for instance, you now select the templates. Can you see this bit? It says templates. Insert, create, or update templates. So this one that we had before, we just use it. And that's how you send campaigns, okay? It's a very good feature. You can even review. You can review the people or how it's going to look like before you send as well, okay?
Makes sense.
But you have limits in hands-on org. You can only send 10. But in live production, I think you can send up to 5,000 in a day.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's all.
Thank you very much, Babatope.
No worries. AM, please. AM.
Thank you, Baba. Yeah. Thank you, Babatope. When you were explaining campaigns, you mentioned that you can bring data from a legacy system into Salesforce. Can you please explain further?
So a legacy system is a system that is obsolete, no longer in use, or they are trying to transit into Salesforce. For instance, I used to work at an insurance company, and they use mainframe. Mainframe is old. Anyone that is only IBM that still maintain mainframes, right? So you want to move data from mainframe into Salesforce. How do you do that? Mainframe is a legacy system. You want to connect APIs. Salesforce has provided APIs that will connect mainframe or whatever it is to Salesforce. I think they use MuleSoft, but there are other middlewares as well. But that's a bit technical. As an admin, you don't need to know that. As a consultant, you don't need to know that, but you need to know that it is possible. Okay? So when they ask you, you tell them that, oh, Salesforce can do this. But the different levels of consultancy, okay? There are different levels of Salesforce consultant. The first level is you consulting for Sales Cloud. You consulting for Marketing Cloud. You consulting for enterprise architecture, integration. So whatever you're doing, you'll be hired to do that which you're competent or which you have the skills to do, right? So this is more of a technical integration we're talking about, and you might not even understand it. So you don't go and consult for that. Otherwise, you're going to mess up the system. Just consult for the things that you can see, the things that you're confident about, and the things you can easily implement. But know that within you, that Salesforce can connect from a legacy system into the Salesforce cloud. Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah. Tosin, please.
Hi. So my question was just around that. I just want to understand something. First of all, campaigns is really for just sending emails out. Basically, I need to manage different groups of people and how you send emails to them. Then the second question is, what's the difference between the campaign and the related fields? Because I didn't understand that. The related, is it objects?
Campaign members.
No, you have the campaign itself, and then you have what is under related. When we're talking about cloning, that you can clone the campaign or clone all what's under the related. So do we create this separately, all these hierarchy campaign members?
Oh, no. So when you talk about related, like I mentioned when we're doing relationship, related are just the things that are related to campaign in terms of relationship. I showed you accounts. Inside accounts, you can see contacts because contact is related. Opportunities is related to accounts. Okay, so related are just the things that are related when it comes to relationship, when it comes to modeling. So schema builder, if you go to campaign, for instance, you see the relationship. That's what related is. Anything that has this line connecting to another object, you will see it in the related section of that object. Okay?
Right.
Yeah. So
the second question was about, does it mean that campaign is really just about managing how you send emails to?
Yeah, that's pretty much what it does, really. Like you send emails, you group people together, you monitor them, you see how the campaign is performing, you see the influence and the like. So that's pretty much what campaign is all about.
So campaign members are contacts, right?
Yeah, they are contacts, they are leads, they are accounts. Okay. Can you see? If you go to the campaign members, you can add leads, you can add contacts, you can add accounts. Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah. Ade, please.
Thank you, Babatope. I'm sorry, I hope I'm not taking you off course. I just want to find out why you asked us to create a custom profile for customers in the project. Because we already have a standard custom, we already have a standard customers in the system.
Okay. The project is not what we're talking about, but if it's a project,
I know, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
So if you go to profiles, and what do you have?
We already have a standard customers.
Where is it?
Object. We have an object for customers.
So what has the object got to do with profiles?
Oh no. I think you said
Babatope, on the project, you wrote on the customer after creating an object.
Yeah, the customer object should include,
there is a customer as well. Creating field, you have customer on the field.
Yes, but you have to give a profile, right? When you have a user, you need to have a profile, right?
Object or a custom object.
Oh,
so there's a place we actually read that create object for custom object for these. Then you listed the three of them. I'm just looking for it now.
Yeah, I saw it. So I know what you mean.
No, like I think what he's
already. Then we was on the standard. Though they don't have, like, there are some fields.
Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
So where are you talking about? What section?
The beginning, I think.
In the beginning, yes.
This one?
No. Go back. Go up.
No, keep going up. No, not down. I know what he's talking about because I had the same question. So
is it this?
Yes, it's here. You said we should create an object here to have customer plan and billing information. And you still say we should create a custom object again with plan, customer, and bill.
Exactly,
so
yes.
I got confused.
That's why I got confused.
This is analysis. This is analysis. And this is implementation guide.
No, that's okay. Tokwe, look at it there again. Because the object you said we should create, you said we should have name, phone number, and email. But the custom object, you said it should have the plan. It should have the call rates, the limits, the free calling. So
okay, let me make it very easy for you. You're only creating 3 objects. You're only creating 3 objects. That's it.
Custom objects.
3 custom objects. That's it. So if you're calling it plan, customer, bill, you're calling it planning, customers, and billing, it doesn't matter. As long as you're creating 3 custom objects, that's it. So
I think I saw it under, this is where I saw it, data, under the data model. You said as a part of the data model for this application, create 3 custom objects: plan, customer, and bill.
That's it. That's
so
what
this
you're
is where I'm
creating.
asking the question. Okay.
So where do we put the information, the customer information?
You put in a customer object.
Okay. All right then.
Okay.
But this is what I noticed. Customer object that you said we should create. We already have it as standard objects already.
That's my question.
Okay.
We already have it as standard object.
You're missing the point, right? The point is I want you to create it. So if you have it as a standard object, we shouldn't stop you from creating it. Salesforce will rename the API to something else, but create it.
Exactly.
All right.
Go ahead.
So don't stress yourself about it. We've done this stuff almost 3 times right now. So yours won't be different. People are creating it. You can create it.
Okay.
Don't get worried. Don't get scared. They're not charging you for that object. Okay, it's free. Just create it.
No. The way the question came in was because you said that by rule, we don't create custom object where we already have
Exactly.
standard. Yes, for it. Yes. That's
you're right.
Where I was like, okay, was that a typographical error, or maybe you meant that we create another one? Yes.
Oh no, yeah, you're right. Actually, you're right. But it's just for me to let you create that custom object. I want you to create object and enter those data in that object. Okay. So don't get too worried about this. Just follow the instruction and you'll be fine. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Highly favored, please.
Good evening. I just wanted to ask if it was only in leads that we can send automated response.
I think there is also one in case. We haven't gotten to case yet, but there's auto response rules in case. Can you see?
Okay, so just leads and case. Okay, I was thinking I missed somewhere in between that it could also happen for campaigns as well.
No. So you can see case as when we get to service applications, we're going to see all this as well. But you can do it in case. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Adiola, please.
Yes, thank you again. Can you design a flyer on Salesforce as a marketer or as a brand and staff, or as a sales administrator? As an administrator?
You cannot design it, but you can import it. Okay. You can import it or you can outsource it for someone to develop and they'll give it to you. You just paste the HTML code. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
No worries. Amok, please.
So on the project you gave us, I know you want us to do a lookup, can you please go to the project so I can point out to you what I'm trying to say? Okay, please move down. Down, yeah. Like where you have basic, premium, and standard. Yeah, like right here. I know we're going to do a lookup to impute all this, but I just wanted to know that, is it possible in Salesforce for you to actually have all this so that once you select a basic plan, you don't need to input anything in any field. It just comes up with this. Is it possible?
That's what you're doing with the lookup. It automatically associates the plan with that customer. So you don't get to see it, but you can do cross-object relationship, cross-object formula. So for instance, I can now say, because, let me show you something. If you go to objects, we have exam record, right? And customer and student. So I go to exam record. Then I can go to relationship. I go to new. I go to formula. Then I can say something from students. Okay. So it's something from students. I call it test. Okay. Next. Then I can say advanced insert exam record, student, Then I want to get the total score. Can you see the way I got total score from students, even though I'm on the exam record object? That's the benefit of that lookup relationship, the master detail relationship. So in your own case, you just go and get whatever thing you want to get from the customer. So it's going to be customer.plan. Something like that. Okay?
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Yeah. Opeyemi, please.
Thank you, Babatope. Although I've not tried it on my end yet, but I want to ask, the email templates, can it be modified using the merge fields?
Come again? I did not get that.
The email templates, can the email templates be modified using the merge fields? Like if I want to modify the email templates as I'm sending?
You cannot modify the ones you created the templates. You cannot insert the match fields or something like that because it's a template. Template uses that match fields, right? So let me bring the templates in, for instance, this one. Then you can now change whatever it is. But as you can see, I cannot insert match fields.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but I can still change whatever template it is, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, thanks. I think that's all, but let me quickly show you how to do your, I told you that everyone that is interested in the certification exam, they can actually learn, and based on my experience, I've created a few questions that are likely to come out in your certifications. I've done my research and stuff like that. So the user module will provide you with online assessment module, which I believe everyone should have access to right now. So there's what we call online assessments. This is where you get your training schedule. This is where you get your videos and everything. This is for course members to book a mentor. This online assessment, if you open this, okay, that session was over. Open this. You can take a mock quiz for whatever we've learned, okay? So what you just need to do is go to Salesforce Administrator Practice mock quiz and take the quiz. It's going to follow based on Salesforce standard. You will be under exam condition. And if you can really do well with this, can you guys see my screen? Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good.
I tried this quiz earlier, and the questions that I saw were like mathematical questions. So
I updated it. I was just creating questions.
I was afraid.
No. I updated it. Yeah. So it's time-based. It's time-based, and you can monitor your performance, and if you can answer this question, ideally you should be getting 100% in the quizzes. If you can get 100% in the quiz, you'll be good to get your certification, okay? Again, it's free as long as you have a single login account. You don't need to be a member. But for the members, we're going to have a session just dedicated to reviewing its answers, okay? So the members would have reasons why this answer is right. But for you guys, you don't get that privilege. You just go with the flow and select, and you can test. But for the members, they will have a session with me whereby we kind of like explain why this is right and this is wrong, something like that, okay? But I think it's still very good for you guys to try and attempt. And hopefully at the end of the section, you'll be able to get a good grade that will give you the confidence for your certification exam. So I'm going to give you 100 every week for the next 3 weeks, maybe. So we're going to be answering about 500 questions or something like that. So I don't know. It could be more than that, but it could be more. No, don't worry. Just this one is mock. This one is mock, okay? But at the end of the day, you're going to be answering up to 500 or more. But the members definitely will be answering more than 500 questions because there's so much we need to go through for your certification. Again, most people attend training for different reasons. If you want to get certification, there's a strategy for that. If you want to understand it, there's a strategy for that. Right now, I'm letting you understand Salesforce. I'm not even preparing for certification yet. Certification exam is different. Like what we're doing right now is intensive knowledge of Salesforce. When it comes to certification, I'm a different person. I'm teaching you to pass your certification, okay? So do the project to get a job. Do the certification to get your certification. And come for class if you want to have a very good understanding. Those three things will make you indispensable in the workforce. And people will be begging for your skills. And it's up to you to just take advantage of it, okay? So I think that's all from me. Do you guys have any questions before we end it for today?
No.
Any questions?
Yes, Babatope, please. How many questions do you have in the certification exam?
I don't know yet. I just review all possible questions I could get online. I answer them based on my experience. I go to the org to verify the answer. Then I put a yes. So if I haven't verified the answer, I wouldn't put a yes for you. So it can be more. It depends on how, like, I'm spending a lot of time for you guys. I spend over 50, 60 hours for this training, and
we appreciate that a lot. We know that some of us know that.
I need to review the questions, and I need to make sure that they're right before I put it online.
How many questions do you have in the certification exam?
How many questions can you have? Like,
are we going to answer?
Okay. That's a different question. I cannot give you that right now because I need to have a session on getting ready for the certification by itself. Okay? So let's get there.
You don't understand, Babatope. The question he's asking is, when you're doing the certification exam, how many questions come out?
65 questions. 65 questions. Five questions are not part of the assessment, but they still ask you. But the questions are 60 plus 5, so 65 questions. But again,
what's the pass mark?
Again, I cannot be giving you that right now. I need to be prepared to give you that, okay? And I don't want to give you something that is not official. But if you want to go ahead of the class, every time I usually show you this. And this gives you all the information you need, okay? So if you read this, you will get everything about the questions. Whatever you're asking, everything is there, okay? But I cannot give you that right now until I'm prepared for it. That's why I like, because everything is recorded. Someone might be watching tomorrow and they say, oh, it said something different compared to what was written in the official guide. So I usually like to prepare for my session before I say it. I'm going to put this in the chat so you guys can access it and you can read it as well. Okay. So I think, so that probably answer most of your questions regarding certification. But again, we haven't gotten there yet. We're going to get there last week of the training. Let's focus on Salesforce right now and let's get the confidence we need. So whenever people ask us, do you know Salesforce? You'll be able to say, yes, I know Salesforce, and you can defend it. Okay, so that's all from me. Is there any other question before we end it for tonight?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I have an issue. I can't see the videos. It just says you are not subscribed. Kindly
okay, can we take that into the group? Like if you're a member, you're already part of a group, then we'll talk about that later, okay?
Thank you.
Any other question, please?
Babatope, can we take the quiz over and over, the one on the platform, the single login platform?
Yes, that's a very good question. The mock one you can take over and over again, but the live assessment, you can take it for a minimum number of times. I want to kind of like make it more interesting for you guys, but you can take it as much as possible, to be fair. Honestly, I can make it 100 if I want to. I was going to make it live assessment to test you guys against each other. Okay, so maybe after I see everyone has completed the live assessment, then I can now make it open so you guys can now take it over and over again. But when you guys first test it, when you guys first take the live assessment, I just want to record your performance. Then when I confirm that everyone has taken it, I see their performance, then I can just open it up again. Then you guys can take it as many times as possible, okay? So that's the whole purpose of me limiting the number of times, but you can take it as many times as possible after I've done the assessment for everyone. I just want to see who is doing well based on what we've learned so far. Okay?
Okay, a quick one, please. When do you expect us to take the live assessment?
As soon as I put it up, but I'm still struggling to put it up. But
that's all right. Take your time. Take your time.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
All right, but quick one, please. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, carry on, please. Carry on.
All right, but I just wanted to know the mock assessment. Do you say we should hold on for now, or we can start taking it?
Oh, mock you can take as you can start taking it right now. I'm talking about the live assessment. The live assessment is what I haven't put yet. Like this one is for my introduction to programming, right? But I'll put the Salesforce live assessment part 1, Salesforce live assessment part 2, and the likes. Okay. I'll give it. It's going to be passworded, so you cannot take it until I give you the password. But for this one, you can take it. Yeah. But this one, you can take it as much as possible. And if at all there's a password, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay.
Okay, and it's ready to be used as we speak, right?
Yeah. You can take it. Like that was what I just took, right?
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Gang.
Okay. All the best, guys.
Class on Thursday.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Do we have? I said, do we have classes on Thursday?
We have classes Monday to Thursday. No Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I'm just asking about this. The coming this Thursday.
Okay, so
on holiday too.
Remembrance Day.
Okay, that's a very good question. Let me figure that out. Okay, let me figure that out, and I'll let you guys know. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Ideally, we might not be having, but I'll communicate that to the group. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks. No problem. Take care, guys. Bye, everyone.
What's the duration of the training? When does it end?
We have 2 more. Almost 3 weeks.
25th.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Take care. I will speak to you guys later. All the best. Bye. Have a good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Gracias. Je vous ai classe en Thursday.